Let me chill out before I cut myself for real. Hey guys, so today we're gonna be doing this super easy Halloween dead bride look. Halloween is my favorite season when it comes to makeup because you could just do just about everything. You could be so creative and you could do whatever you want and people not look at you like, sis, what are you doing? So if you want to see how I went ahead and did this, just keep on watching. So first, you're just going to clip your hair back so nothing gets in it. Then you're going to grab your liquid latex. You could get this small tube for $3.99 at Party City. You're just going to spread it on a little cosmetic wedge and put it all over your neck. You want to make sure that layer is really, really thin so it could be nice and smooth and there's no lumps and bumps. So you just want to let that first layer dry down and then you're going to add a second layer of the liquid latex right on top. Next, you're going to grab some tissue paper. I start by tearing the plies apart because like I said, you want it to be really, really thin because you're going to be adding a lot of layers of tissue and liquid latex. Once you rip your small piece of tissue, you're just going to put it right on top of your neck and you're going to smooth it over with your fingers. And I'm going to gently pull it tight so that it can lay really, really flat on top of that liquid latex. Once you get that first piece of tissue down, you're just going to go right back over it with more of the liquid latex to keep it in place. So you're just going to keep adding on layers of the tissue and liquid latex. And you want it to be thick enough to look skin-like when you cut it, but thin enough to make it look like it's your actual neck that's being cut. In between each layer of liquid latex, you're going to want to blow dry it. Now you could let it air dry if you want, but blow drying just makes the whole process a lot faster. Once you get the amount of layers you want, you're just going to grab some scissors and some tweezers, and you're going to use those tweezers to poke some holes in the liquid latex. And that's going to make it a lot easier for you to start cutting. Once you get those holes, then you're going to start cutting. And at this point, you want to be very, very careful and go slowly because the last thing you want to do is cut your actual neck, okay? And as you can see, every time I make a cut, I'll just pull it back just a little bit so you could get a better idea of where that line is that you're cutting. And normally I would set it with my setting powder and my foundation first. So if this is your first time doing something like this, I would do that first because it'll make everything a lot drier and it's easier to cut. And once the cut starts getting more open, you're just going to keep pulling it back just to reinforce that line you've made. Now I'm just going to start powdering over that with some Sacha Buttercup powder just to prep it for the foundation and to reduce any tackiness that might still be there. Now I'm just going to apply the Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation all over my neck. And this color doesn't really match my face that well, but it'll be just fine for this. And so you're just going to apply it all over where you put the liquid latex. And don't worry if the color doesn't look right. We're going to apply a few layers so it'll blend in better with your neck. And I'm just applying the foundation with my fingers first to get better coverage. Then I go back over it with this Real Techniques sponge. You're just going to go over that with any face powder that you have. I'm using the Maybelline Better Skin Powder in the color Coconut. Once everything's set, you're just going to want to pull on the edges of that opening just to make it look more skin-like and to make it look like the skin is peeling back. Now we're going to start filling that cut in. I got this little paint set from Target for $3. I believe it was the Vampire paint set. It's by all the Halloween stuff. And I'm going to start with a black base first. Now once I get that black base as dark as I want, I'm going to go right on top of it with some of the red paint. And once that's filled in, we get to do my favorite part, which is the blood. I also got this small tube of fake blood gel from Party City for $3.99, and I'm just going to squeeze it in there first, then spread it out with just a normal paintbrush. When you're doing this, you want to make sure you get underneath the folds of that liquid latex as well, just so there's no white spots showing. Now I'm just going to go over the edges with that same fake blood just to make everything look a little bit more gushy and splattered. Just to finish off the look of this cut, I'm going to squeeze some more of the blood gel in there just so it can look like it's dripping over the edges of the wound. Off camera, I primed and did my brows using the Anastasia Dipbrow and Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. I like to do my eyes first, so I'm going to grab the Morphe Gel Liner in the color Jet, and I'm going to put that all over my lids. Then I'm going to set that gel liner with the Colourpop Super Shock Shadow in the color Roulette. Then I'm going to go in with this red shade in the BH Cosmetics 120 palette, and I'm just going to smoke out that black. And the great thing about this look is that it doesn't have to be super neat because, I mean, we're dead. So you just want it to be smoked out and really eerie looking. And then I'm going to go right over everything with this Juvia's Place brush to smooth out any harsh lines. Now I'm just going to go in with my Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Foundation in the color 390. I love this foundation, like it's my go-to. And I'm just going to buff that in with a brush first. I'm going to go right over that with my beauty blender to make it really smooth. For concealer, I'm going to use the Colourpop Pro Filter Concealer in the color Dark 40. And I'm just going to go in all the usual spots, your under eye, forehead, nose. And I also like to put a little bit of concealer right above my lip because my foundation tends to oxidize right there a lot and it can make it look like I have a mustache. And you know that's not cute. So we're going to cancel that out with that, and it's going to help it look unison with the center of my face. And we're just going to blend all of that out with our beauty blender. Then I'm just going to set all my highlighted areas with the Laura Mercier translucent powder with this mini Laura Mercier puff. With the Morphe 160 brush, I'm going to put that same gel liner in my waterline. Then I'm going to go back in with the Colourpop Roulette, and I'm going to smoke out that waterline with the Morphe 515 brush. And of course, we're going to go back in with that red BH Cosmetics shade just to continue smoking out that waterline. Next, I'm just going to contour with the Semi-Sweet and Triple Fudge in the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. And I like using these eyeshadows as a contour for this look just because they're super cool tone and dark, because you don't want to use a bronzer and look too warm because, like I said, we're dead. So you want to be very cool toned. I'm using the fan brush from the Morphe X Bretman highlighter palette just to get that contour really sharp, and then I like going over it with the fluffier contour brush just to soften out the edges. Then I'm going to go back in with the Laura Mercier translucent powder just to cut that contour. Now you want to just dust off all of your baking powder, and I'm using a Morphe E58. And I'm going to do an ombre red lip for this look. So I'm going to start by lining with the NYX Matte Suede liner in the color Copenhagen. Then I'm going to go right on top of that with just a plain black eyeliner. And you're going to want to smoke out the edges of that and just ombre them into each other. And I'm just going to fill my lips in with this Colourpop matte liquid lipstick in the color Mamacita. I'm going to fill in the center with the NARS Velvet Matte Lip Pencil in the color Now that I'm done with the look, I'm just going to take those pins out of my hair, change clothes, and be right back. This, you guys, is the finished look. I hope you all like it. It's super easy, super affordable, just about anybody can do it. And Halloween is the perfect time to experiment with makeup. So if you want to be scary and slay at the same time, then this is just for you. So if you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in my next video. Thanks. Bye.